I do. A little bit. Little? Yes, little. I have to love other too, you know. They explained and examined his name. Others? Who? He asked, getting serious. Oh, you know, arrogant Jungkook, cute Jungkook, ugly Jungkook. There are so many versions. I get confused. They pouted, and Jungkook glared at him and rolled his eyes. Very funny, he grumbled. Come on, they giggled, grabbing his hand and stood up. Don't you have a meeting today? We have to go to hospital too. They said. Jungkook stood up. I do. You still want to go to university? He asked. No, I just had one class, and that already passed. They shrugged. I'm just going to sleep until you come back. Then we can go to hospital together. They said. Fine, he nodded. So, we are good, he said. PG, they grinned. We need to work on our trust issues. That's it. We can do that, he nodded with a smile. Yes, we can. Now go. They pushed him toward the door. Jungkook nodded. He said, scratching the back of his neck. We have something to discuss. When I came back, he told Tae. His cheeks were tinted pink. Still? Yeah, don't worry and go back to sleep. He said, praying that they was not pregnant, not in these hard situations. Okay, they nodded, a little unsure. Bye, they smiled. Bye. He walked out, leaving a confused Tae behind. They felt someone shaking him as he peacefully slept. After a very long time, they had not been able to rest properly, even since the problem started and went Jungkook. But now, he finally got some sleep. He had to be disturbed. Morning grumpily and mumbled something under his breath. He slipped the hand away and covered his face with a blanket. Just when they got once away, drifted off, the blanket got removed from his face and he was shaking once again. They cried out in frustration and sat at his place, rubbing his eyes at the same time. What do you want? They whined, rubbing his eyes with his fist. Jungkook placed his hand over his fist and glared down at Tae. I'm getting late, Tae. If you wanted to come, then hurry up, or I am leaving without you. Tae yawned. His eyes filled up with moisture as he blinked. Where? They asked, staring ahead of him. Hospital. I can't believe you. You had been sleeping for 8 hours now. Get up. They turned his head and glared at him. What is his problem? I can sleep for how long I wanted. Remembering the reason of visiting to the hospital, they sobered up and jumped out of the bed and walked inside the washroom after getting ready and dressed up into a pair of cotton trousers and shirt. They shrugged a leather jacket and walked out of his room where Jungkook was probably waiting for him. He met him in the dining hall where he has been waiting and he talked on phone with someone. I'm ready. They said, not hungry for dinner. Jungkook stopped eating and stared at him before nodded. He lifted his finger to sign him. He needed a minute and he talked on phone. They sat oppositely him and picked up an apple for the bowl. Munching on it, slowly he thought about the event all the day. It was the same day and he couldn't believe so much happened in a single day. In the morning, they were spitting mad at Jungkook. He was upset and hated him. Then he confessed his love. The train had they. Were they both even normal? They was a little uneasy about the fact that he behaved so casually when Jungkook had told him those 3 magical words. Maybe he knows somehow that he loved him, maybe. That's why he was so hurt when he overheard him talking to Sophia. They regret being drunk when they had been first night together. They didn't remember everything that between them, and now He wanted a repeat of it. They gasped, smashing her head. Lightly he blushed properly at that stupid thought. Wow, why are you blushing and hating yourself? Jungkook formed that day and he made eye contact with him. He wasn't on phone anymore. And his plate was empty too. They blushed even more when he analyzed his face. Or did he look on top of me? They gasped once again and pressed a hand to his mouth. What is wrong with me? Jungkook winked his eyebrows at hers, and he picked up his phone and examining his face, his reflection on screen. Is there something on my face? He asked, touching his cheeks and then forehead. They licked his lips and chuckled forcefully. Yeah, I was just looking at your cuts. Are you feeling okay now? They asked and mentally patted his back of his head in a smooth lie. Jungkook made his eyes and nodded, hardly believing him. Yes, I'm fine. He shrugged and stood up for the chair. Come on, let's go, he said, and afterward they both walked to the car. He looked tired as he sat down beside him. They felt bad for him. He had not gotten enough sleep, and he was also in an accident. They hadn't even cared at that time. Now he felt guilty. Cook, are you alright? They asked, looking at his eyes once of the car was started, while the other was sat in the passenger seat. Jungkook looked at him and sighed. I already answered that. He rubbed his eyes and rested his head against the seat. They grabbed his hand and their fingers together. He was so close to him. I know, but you have gotten enough rest. You look tired. You know what? I think it's best if you sleep for a while. You are not needed at the hospital, and Jungkook has people with you. Yes, that's what we're gonna do. They remembered. Can you please take us back? No, keep driving. Jungkook waved off the driver, who was about to take a U-turn. He nodded and continued driving. I'm fine, Tae. It's all right. If gave a reassuring smile. But we'll come back soon, and then I rest. Stop worrying. He squeezed their hand gently, and they smiled softly and nodded hesitantly. Jungkook looked out of the window as his thought was drifted toward the topic. He was trying to avoid all the cost. He sighed and nervously rubbed his eyes. How was he going to ask Tae? A day needed to consult a doctor to confirm about his pregnancy. And if Tae was pregnant, he knew it wasn't possible for him to be pregnant because it was only a few days. But he didn't want to take chance, and he wanted to be sure. When the car was parked outside the hospital, the reporter was still over there outside the gate, wanting some juicy details to make money. Jungkook groaned and stepped out of the car, opening the door for him. He rounded the car and wrapped his arms around his wife's fist as he was already out of the car. I hate this, they mumbled, and they made their way toward to see the reporters. Jungkook sighed, agreed with him silently, but he didn't say anything. Why? Why do you have to be so famous? Couldn't you be a fisherman that I could have married? They whispered at him. They were finally out of their sight and inside the hospital. Jungkook chuckled and they made their way to the private wing of the hospital. A fisherman? Can't you think of anything better? He gave them an amused smile. Why? What is wrong with this? They foamed at him. Nothing is wrong with them, but I don't understand. He shrugged. That was the first word that came in my mind. They chuckled. It's silly. Not to forget. You were already famous before marrying me, he smirked.